Hi, and welcome to your Sky Zone HD Game of the Week. I'm Drew Piscopo down here in Porter Ridge. They're taking on the Pirates here. It's going to be Watauga Pioneers taking on the Porter Ridge Pirates. First round of the state playoffs. Big game tonight. Porter Ridge comes into this one with a 9-1 record, looking pretty good. Their only loss coming to Weddington was a 7-0 loss there. But other than that, they're pretty much untouchable. They're a pretty good team, and they're ranked real high in the state of North Carolina, obviously, and of course a 4A school. This is going to be a good one up here. And Watauga coming off a big win last week against St. Stephen's and looking for a little bit of an upset here in the first round. It's going to be a good one, so get your popcorn ready. Aaron Dobbins, the freshman for Watauga, is one player to definitely watch out for. Meanwhile, Porter Ridge substitutes two quarterbacks. They switch in and out, and they're both pretty good. One of them is actually the starting linebacker for their team as well, so they got a lot of weapons out there. It's going to be a fun one to watch out for. We'll be back with first quarter action.
Welcome to the Sky Zone HD Game of the Week. We're at Porter Ridge Indian Trail down near Monroe, south of Charlotte, as Watauga Pioneers travel in here to play Porter Ridge. Watauga comes in with a 5-6 record overall, having won just against St. Stephen's last week. But Porter Ridge comes in very powerful at 9-1, and so they're going to be the favored team in this football game tonight. This game is brought to you by High Country Insurance Services, located on the 105 extension in Carey Square in Boone. They offer the right coverage at the best rates for home, auto, life, and commercial insurance. So as we see these captains coming out, I'm Terry Smith along with Drew Piscopo. Drew, how you doing tonight? And I tell you what, it could be a great ball game.
Yeah, it could be a good ball game, especially looking at Watauga coming back from last week. Really played their best football all season long last week, playing against St. Stephen's. Cam Baker had a huge night. Aaron Dobbins had a real big night as well. And so you never know. Watauga's really healthy right now. That's the good thing going with them. Aaron Dobbins seems to be a little bit more comfortable playing at the varsity level. Remember, he's only a freshman, their starting quarterback. But Porter Ridge is a very talented and a very fast football team. That's one thing you're going to notice from them. They got a lot of athletes out there and a lot of kids that are going to be going and playing at the next level. That's the scary thing. Chris Duffy, one of their running backs, he's going to end up playing at UNC Charlotte next year. You know, they're just starting a football program up. And then their kicker's going to Oregon as well. So they got a lot of players on this team that are going to play at the Division I level, where Watauga, you know, they might be a little bit undermatched as far as speed-wise and size-wise coming in this thing.
Yeah, definitely. You see Colin Augustine out there with Jimmy Accardi as the captain's coming over. Could be their final football game in high school here. I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup. And as we've talked about all week long, Drew, in our television shows and in the end zone and everything, this is an opportunity. Colin Augustine's back from injury. Cam Baker's back from injury. Aaron Dobbins looking really great there at quarterback. So they're the strongest they've been all season long, as you mentioned here. But you know, Porter Ridge is going to be real tough.
Yeah, Porter Ridge is definitely going to be tough. The thing that you're talking about with Watauga that does, you know, bring back some memories, we know that Colin Augustine's had a broken collarbone for most of the season. He's just now back and healthy and ready to roll, so that's the good thing with him, is the Pioneers are coming out. But Porter Ridge has a lot of speed. They got a lot of players that can do it. And when you come into this stadium, there's people here talking about Porter Ridge going all the way.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they could do it. They're going to be very strong. The winner of this game goes on to play AC Reynolds next week. So Watauga's already played AC Reynolds' first game of the season this year and got beaten. It'll be a great matchup there. Porter Ridge will face them. Watauga won the toss and chose to receive. So Coach Wright wants to get the ball first here. I guess he's probably thinking that his offense has been looking good the last couple weeks, especially last week, and also he does, keep Porter Ridge off the field offensively as much as he can.
Yeah, that's true, and it's going to be interesting to see what Watauga tries to do as far as attacking Porter Ridge. One thing that's really good about this defense is that they switch things up. They're not generic. They're going to line up in cover 2 looks, cover 3 looks. They'll really mix up, and their linebackers are very good at dropping back into pass lanes. That's something that's pretty rare at a high school level for linebackers to really drop underneath zones. Right. But a lot of linebackers in some schools don't even move. They just kind of just stand there. Well, and what Porter Ridge is good. They know how to cover people. So that's going to be the tough thing for Aaron Dobbins. He's going to see probably the best defense that he's seen all year long tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A lot of times in high school they really don't. I mean, you see that the coaches expect the defensive backs to cover everything,
right,
and then you can hit them underneath all
you
night
can't.
long.
Yeah, that's the thing. In high school, that's why slants are completed so much in high school, because defensive our defensive ends, and not necessarily ends, but linebackers aren't really, outside linebackers aren't really dropping underneath those slants. A corner can't cover that. If he's actually getting attacked on leverage, the corner's not going to be the one to knock that down or pick it off. It's going to be the linebacker to do it. So, and that's why, Porter Ridge, you're not going to be completing many slants against Porter Ridge.
So here we go, Matt Wogan, the kicker for Porter Ridge. There's lined up here, just to the left, almost to the hash mark.
Watch this kick, Terry. This kid is good.
I'll tell you, here you go, golly. Right down through the end zone there, and they try to kick it down into the corner, but I don't think he's ever going to kick one short enough to actually get a return. He's got such a powerful leg there. As you mentioned, he's going to Oregon. So, I mean, if Oregon's recruiting a boy out here in North Carolina, you know that he's got to be excellent.
Yeah, he went to Oregon's camp, and he stayed late and kicked for the coaches a few times, and they liked what they saw so much. He kicked one out of the back of the end zone like that they had him stay around later, and the next day they offered him a scholarship. So he's going to be going all the way out to Oregon next year. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, that is. Here we go. Watauga comes out here at the start, and Aaron Dobbins looks over to the sideline to get the call. The defense there, as you look, you got a 4-man front there for Porter Ridge. And here's Aaron Dobbins taking the snap, handoff to Colin Augustine up the middle, and not a whole lot there. Might have gotten 2 before he's driven back, but there wasn't really much there at all.
No, there's not. That's the thing with Porter Ridge. They line up to keep as many people in their box as they can to stop their run game, but they're also very good underneath in the pass. They manned up everybody, and they also had a free safety back, so they're playing basically a cover 1 with a 4-3 defense. It's pretty simple stuff, but it's pretty good to cover pretty much everything that Watauga can throw at.
Yeah, I tell you what I've found in football, but in high school football especially, it's not so much what you line up in, it's how you teach the guys technically to cover the areas they got to cover. There's a little fake and a quick screen attempt outside there. I think it's going to be incomplete. We're going to call it sub. Sturry was the intended receiver, but trying to hit that quick screen into the boundary there on the second play.
Yeah, and that's the one too. They're looking to see if that was a lateral pass or a forward pass. And the good thing with Aaron Dobbins is if you throw that thing out there as a quarterback, one thing you want to do, just so there's no concern, is as soon as you throw it, drop back a few feet. Like backpedal a little bit, so it looks like even if it was a backwards pass, it was a forward pass, because the refs aren't going to look for that unless the ball hits the ground. Then they're going to look up and look for the quarterback as soon as they see that. And if you're back a few feet, they're not going to know the difference.
Yeah, a little trick of the trade there for the quarterbacks. Here you go. Aaron Dobbins going up deep up top there, and it's going to be overthrown. It was tremendous coverage. They have intended for Cam Baker, but the corner was deeper than Cam was, so there was no opportunity there at all.
Yeah, that's a throw that's got to be thrown back shoulder if you're going to go the go like that, because you're getting a cover 3 look like that, and the corners are really bailing. If you notice, the linebackers really dropped underneath that thing. That's how you know this defense is very good at pass defense, and Aaron Dobbins hasn't gotten to that level yet where he's going to be throwing darts against cover 3 on back shoulder throws. That's a pretty advanced throw, and he's only a freshman in high school.
Alex Parsons coming on to punt. He'll be playing tomorrow in the second round of the state playoffs there for soccer, and I tell you, he's a great soccer player, but he's also had an excellent season this year, punting and kicking off and kicking for Watauga. Beautiful high spiral. It forces back. I tell you, you couldn't punt one any better than that.
No, great roll too.
Rolls out of bounds inside the 25-yard line, about a 53-yard punt, but absolutely perfect. Turned it over there on the spiral and kept it away from the return man too. So with 11 minutes left to play here in the first quarter, that was just a 1 minute. It's all the Watauga offense took off the clock there. So now Porter Ridge, here they come in with that powerful offense.
Yeah, watch this offense too. It's pretty fun to watch. It's a spread offense. They keep it in the shotgun for the most part, but they'll run a lot of triple option looks out of it. They got a real good quarterback as well, so they got a lot of players out here that can make plays.
Yeah, so here we go. Isaiah Hicklin there, the quarterback. He's tremendous, and here we come out a little sort of flex nasty set split there with the tight end, and they're going to run the option pitch outside there to the tailback, and he comes up the field. That's Jarek Robbins getting about 6. Dwayne Mackey, Jimmy Accardi in there on the tackle along with Luke Watson.
Yeah, and Robbins is a real good back, and that's the thing. This team's got a lot of backs that can play at the next level, and they rotate them all in and out, so that's what's dangerous about that. Hicklin, their quarterback, remember, he's only a sophomore, so he's pretty young as well.
See that the tight end you got there, just a little bit of a split in a 2-point stance, He raises up and throws a little quick outside out here. As Hicklin throwing the ball to Luke Bailey. Bailey's really is their big threat there at receiver.
Yeah, he's the one that can go deep on him too, and he's a good receiver. He's a big receiver. That's an easy take right there, though. That's showing you that this offense is pretty advanced. They're getting a 4-4 cover 3 look. They just take an easy speed out here on a bottom one-on-one corner that's playing pretty soft. That was easy.
Yeah, so here we go. Tight end flanker to the left.
Yeah.
Split backs in the shotgun.
Yeah, that's Wogan. Their kicker's actually also playing tight end, so he's a real good athlete, not just a good kicker.
First and 10 on the 38-yard line. Watauga trying to see if they can stop this Porter Ridge offense. Handoff inside. Nice run there. And he continues on, fights forward. And that's Jarek Robbins again. Picks up about 23 down to the 39-yard line. We've seen Dwayne Mackey coming in there, Luke Watson, Taylor Shuford.
Yeah, Nick Williams got in on that
Nick
too.
Williams also in there, yeah.
Yeah, and a good run right there too by Robbins, and they set that thing up. You can see this triple option attack is meant to get big yardage when they run the ball. I mean, this is a good offense all around.
So here we go. Come out with that 2-point stance with the tight end. Unusual, really a pass receiving type of tight end formation there. It was a little play action bootleg and tried to hit the tight end. He had ran a little delay route. That was Wogan. He just kind of bumped and then slipped out to the flat, and the timing of that then was Hicklin, faked it and then rolled back around, and then he was wide open. Wogan was, but didn't hang on.
Yeah, that was an easy one too. Just a levels throw out there. We've seen Watauga switch it up already once in this drive on the big run earlier by Jarek Robbins. They got to a 2 safety shell. They're going to it now, but they're playing a little soft.
Second down and 10. Handoff inside. Good job there by Shuford there with the tackle. Chris Duffy picks up 3 yards to the Watauga 36.
Yeah, and Duffy, that's the kid that's going to be going and playing at UNC Charlotte next year as a running back. They got a lot of players that we talked about that can that make some plays and make people miss.
So here we got 3rd down and 7 situation. So Watauga's opportunity here. 36-yard line. See if Watauga can hold them. Here we go. Hicklin fakes it, keeps it himself. Cuts back up inside and fights forward and gets enough for the first down. Picks up about 13. Nick Williams there, Dwayne Mackey, Ryan Opatoski, Will Critcher.
Yeah, and that's another time where Watauga's 4-4 defense bit him right there. They came on the blitz, and Hicklin keeps the ball. Nobody's really aware for the quarterback, and he tucks it down and gets a big gain right there and gets a big first down for Porter Ridge. I mean, they're trying to get this offense going right now. They can't allow Watauga to play with them. I mean, this is a real good football team. Watauga's really struggled against the run. Porter Ridge likes to throw the ball, but they know that Watauga struggle against the run. They want to keep it on the ground tonight as much as they can.
Yeah, that's actually a personal foul there against Watauga. I don't think the referee's marked it off here correctly. He only should be half the distance to the goal from about the 23. Should be on around 11.5-yard line. He's kind of spotted it here on the 15, so I think they're kind of talking it over right here, and they're going to correct this. But Jacob Watson also in there on that tackle on the last one. But it was a personal foul they called on the tackle there, so they're going to half the distance be 1st down and 10 from just outside the 11-yard line. Hicklin looks over the sideline.
Yeah, you're getting a 4-4 cover 3. It's a lot of room up top. You're noticing that the Bailey down here at the bottom's widening his split a little bit.
Yeah, which is opening up to the inside there.
Right.
The free safety's way over to the opposite side.
Way over to the other side.
So here we got a quick slant, and there it is.
Yep.
It hits Bailey. I tell you, he did widen out. If you're a cornerback and you see your receiver widen out a little bit, you got to be looking for something back to the inside.
Yeah, you know where he's running. That's the thing. If the receiver lines up close to the line of scrimmage inside, he's most likely going to either run a crossing route or he's going to run an out. And you have to expect an out pattern if you're a corner on that side. Now, if he's widening out like that, you know he's going to have to run something in. There's no room to run an out route or anything like that. So you got to be expecting that. But your linebackers are the ones that are responsible for getting underneath that, and that's the difference between Watauga and Porter Ridge. Those linebackers at Watauga aren't really dropping.
So here we have extra point attempt. Watauga up on the line trying to send everybody to try to see if they can get a block. But it's going to be up and it's good. It's not too many misses coming from Logan there. So kick attempt's good. So yeah, nice route, little quick slant, little 3-step route, and
little miscommunication in the backfield though. If you want to knock anything on it, it looked like they were going for a play action run fake. and the running back went to the wrong side, but Hickland was at least aware enough to just raise up and take the slant. The slant was still there. It was just there's miscommunication in the backfield.
Yeah, so 7-0, and as Porter Ridge takes the lead here, Watauga trying to make a few adjustments. They're talking about what they can do here offensively with this kickoff return. That's the one thing that Watauga does really well all season long is their kickoff return.
Yeah, that's true. They do have a good special teams unit all around, really. I mean, Alex Parsons is a good kicker, and they got a lot of guys out there that can make some plays as a kickoff return. You know, I mean, you put Pujols back there and you put Mackey back there too. Those are two guys that can make some plays, and even Sub Sturry. I mean, Sub Sturry's returned one for a touchdown earlier this year.
Yeah. The problem is here with Wogan, though, the kicker for Porter Ridge, he's probably not going to give him any opportunities to return tonight, if any.
Yeah, he can really kick it. This is how he got his scholarship to Oregon, just by kicking these things out the back of the end zone. And he's got a strong leg, and he's kind of warm now, too.
Yeah. Here he goes with a long kick, and that's going to be deep. I'm going to tell you, that's hitting 8 yards deep in the end zone, so it's going to be it, bring it out to the 20-yard line again. So when you do that, you actually neutralize one of the best things Watauga does.
Yeah, and that's true. You're taking away their special teams unit, like you're talking about. That is one of the best things Watauga does. And I mean, Wogan's a heck of a kicker, though. He's got good height on that thing too, and he's hitting it 8 yards deep, and he can kick it out of the back of the end zone if he wants to. I mean, he's that good of a kicker.
So Watauga comes out here with trips formation. Over to the right.
Yeah, no backfield.
Yeah, they got Colin Augustine out here in the slot to the left, so open backfield here.
Yeah, and Porter Ridge is going man underneath.
Going to hand off on a speed sweep to Colin Augustine, and he tries to fight forward, but maybe just gets about 1 yard before he's brought down by Worsham and Widgeon.
Yeah. No, you noticed one thing there. They weren't necessarily playing man because nobody ran with Colin Augustine, but they stacked a player over a player, so it gave a man look. They actually just played cover 3 behind that, but everybody's spreading out. I mean, they're going to cover you man for man. If Watauga wants to take advantage of that, I'd like to see him go 4 wide and maybe create a 5-on-5 in the box. You never know. If Porter Ridge is going to widen out with those receivers like that, they might be able to take something of an advantage inside.
So now they got trips to the right. Augustine back in the backfield just to the left of Dobbins.
They're really not widening. They're staying in there.
Here we go. Fakes it and throws it outside to Hunter Isaacs, and he makes the catch. Good job. Picks up about 6 out to the 27-yard line. So we're going to bring up 3rd down and 3, but a nice little play there by Dobbins and by Watauga.
Yeah, that was a good job taking advantage of a soft corner down here and another cover 3 look, and Dobbins just raises up and hits a quick hitch down here to Hunter Isaacs. That's an easy one right there. It's a nice completion.
I think Hunter's got a little problem with his helmet there. He had to come off, and they're trying to fix something over there on the sideline, so it's taking a little bit of time here. Play clock's running down. And by the time Jimmy Accardi gets out here, because he had to go all the way to the far side of the field, so
yeah.
Now I think they're just going to call a timeout. Watauga's realized they kind of ran out of time. Hunter Isaacs' equipment was giving him trouble there on the helmet. By the time he got off, Jimmy had to go all the way 50 yards across the field to line up, and by then Watauga thought they'd just call a timeout and regroup.
Right, yeah. And one thing you are noticing, Terry, with Porter Ridge playing just with one safety in the middle of the field, whenever Watauga goes to a 3-by-1 set like that, they can never really create the mismatch where they have 5 linemen and 5 people in the box, because they can always bring that other player that would be playing your second safety into the box. So it's always a 5-on-6 no matter how they do it. But they are man on the outside in the cover 3 look.
Here's 3rd down and 3. Aaron Dobbins drops back, tries to throw to the outside there to Mackey, and he's fighting forward, but tremendous pursuit to the ball.
Yeah, that was, because that's a right read, Terry. That was actually the right decision to throw there, but Porter Ridge, just with great team speed, rallies up to it.
Yeah, just came up a yard short. That was 3rd and 3, and Wayne caught the pass and tried to cut back up the middle, and only picked up 2, so it's going to be 4th down and 1, and it's like Watauga sent out the punting unit, not going to take a chance this deep in their own territory.
No, but that's one where Mackey's got to catch that thing and get upfield. He can't dance around. That's one where, not only that, but he's got to run his route deeper than just a yard. He's got to get to the sticks, and then once he catches it, get upfield.
Here's a snap. Parsons there on the punt. Oh, man, I tell you, that Mike could have been blocked, but if it had come at the right angle, he didn't want to take a chance on roughing the punter, so the punt goes out of bounds there. Nick Williams was standing next to us, about a 25-yard punt there by Alex. Out of bounds at the 46-yard line, so Porter Ridge will take over leading 7-0.
Yeah, leading 7-0 like you're talking about. This is an offense that's going to be tough to stop. This is one of the best offenses we've seen all year, not just because of their great team speed, because they really do take advantage of what the defense gives them. I mean, they want to run the ball because they know Watauga struggles against the run, but if they see numbers on the outside, they'll take advantage of it.
Here they come out. First time they've shown this set with tight end to the right and a flex tight end to the left and a flanker option to the left side, pitch out, and a great pursuit to the ball there. Luke Watson, Dwayne Mackey, Jake Page there on the tackle. Actually got him for about a half-yard loss. So tremendous job there.
Yeah, and a good job rallying to it like you're talking about. And you're right, Porter Ridge came out in a new look with that pistol look too. And Watauga rallied to it. Nice play by the Pioneers.
Yeah, so looking pretty good so far. Actually, giving up a few plays here and there on that first drive, but the defense is be able to hold their own on some of these plays, which forces Porter Ridge into
very soft coverage down here on the bottom.
Raises up, fakes it, and throws it down on the out route, and a beautiful catch there. That's Hicklin throwing the ball to Tyler Harrell. Picked up about 8 yards out to the down the 46-yard line. So that's still going to be third down and 2 yards to go here.
Yeah, it was easy. They put a man over a man, but the corner sub-Sturry was really deep, and then they just threw a 10-yard out by their slot receiver down here, and sub-Sturry was too deep to really come up and cover that, and the man wasn't going to be able to play underneath that. Great job by Hicklin to complete that. Easy pass completions.
Here we go, third down and 2. Big play here. Handoff inside, and he's got the first down. That's going to be Jarek Robbins there, picking up about 5. Luke Watson, Waylon Monfison in there on the tackle.
Yeah, good job once again by the Pioneers to try and get in there and stop these things. That's the thing. This is a defense in this game that's got to bend but can't break. You got to limit this offense to field goals, and that's going to be tough.
Single back set. Hadn't seen this yet. We got 3 receivers to the left.
And this is the thing. This offense is getting checks right now from their coaching staff to try and put them in the best position possibly every time they line up. And you can see now the slot receiver up top comes a little bit closer to line of scrimmage.
Here we go. Motion across. Handoff inside, and again, that's going to be Chris Duffy. Only gets about 2 before Shuford and Colin Augustine and Jimmy Accardi in on the tackle.
Yeah, and Duffy's the big power back. I mean, I wouldn't label him as a fullback in this offense. There's no really such thing, but you're not going to see him on too many option pitches to the outside. He's the one that's going to take the direct dive downhill, and he's a good back. I mean, he's a lot faster than you would think, but he's big, and that's why they use him in that position.
Here we go, back to their normal set. Tight end flanker left, stand-up tight end on the left side, Wogan. And there's going to be a call that's going to be a timeout. Porter Ridge coaches decided they wanted to call a timeout here with 4:18 to play. And you're going to talk to their guys here, but up to now, Porter Ridge looks pretty tough.
Yeah, Porter Ridge has got a lot of players out there. I mean, you can notice the speed that they have out there. And Bailey's already had a nice touchdown grab in this ballgame. That was the big one score that we've seen on the board so far. Watauga's really struggled, though, in this 4-4 defense, not only to stop the pass, which you know is going to be tough to stop the pass in this type of defense that they run, but really stopping Porter Ridge's run game. I mean, they've limited them to some short runs, but every now and then Porter Ridge will break a long one.
I'll tell you, you can tell that Porter Ridge very well coached, though. Extremely well coached. So there's a difference here between what you see from most high school teams. The execution that they have here on offense is very good.
Yeah.
Handoff inside. That's going to be Jarek Robbins again, picking up about 8. Jimmy Accardi, Colin Augustine in there on the tackle. But Watauga, is they're bending, but they're bending a little bit too much right now. I mean, they held on the first drive and on this drive. They had third down. On the first drive, they had 3rd and 7. This time, 3rd down and 2. They had them on one occasion here, but just giving up too many kind of 8, 10, 15-yard gains in between those, which just makes it too easy for Porter Ridge. Yeah,
that's the thing, and Watauga's really got to hope now that they're getting closer and closer to the red zone that they got a condensed field. Maybe they can try and stop them then and make Porter Ridge put it in the air. But last time Porter Ridge put it in the air in the red zone, no concerns there. They threw a touchdown. So Watauga's a little bit on their heels right now. Don't know what's coming at them. This is another way for a triple option offense to really come at you in different variety of ways. I mean, Porter Ridge runs an offense very similar to in Oregon or something, where they run so many triple options and can get out in space, and you never know who's got the ball. It's tough to stop that.
Yeah, so very closely they brought the chains out, but it was a first down by about a half the length of a football. So we're going to have 1st and 10 then on the Watauga 31-yard line. Both teams went to the outside the numbers there and talked to their coaches while the measurement was going on. Let's look and see what we've got here with the receivers. See what, as you mentioned, as you condense the field, he talked to Bill Walsh, San Francisco 49ers, great coach. He used to, once he got down in close to the red zone, he wanted to throw the football, and we'll see what Porter Ridge does in this situation here. Bailey's on the right, their star receiver. Wogan flexed on the left, going deep down the field to the right side to Bailey. Goodness gracious, what a beautiful throw. Yeah. And they made it look awful easy there, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And that's taking a shot right there on a cover 3 corner, but he's essentially going to be man on man down here on Bailey, and Hicklin just takes a shot and throws it to one of his best receivers, and they make a huge play right there. That's a nice play right there. That's not something that's supposed to be open in that coverage, but either way, he goes ahead and completes it right over the top. Nice job. But you're also noticing Watauga's linebackers aren't even moving. I mean, there's a lot of space for any kind of dig route, any kind of slant route, anything inside. But hey, if you want to go over the top and can do it, go ahead and do it.
Here we go, Matt Wogan getting ready to kick here, second attempt. And the ball is up, and it is good, and that's going to be 14-0. But you saw Bailey way he lined up there. He was a little bit, just marginally tighter split than he normally would be. It wasn't an average split. It was a little bit. And I know, having been a receiver a lot myself over the years, if you're going to run that kind of fade route, go route, it's good to get a little, you get more room to the outside for that. And normally the quarterback's trying to drop that over the outside shoulder. He didn't even have to really there. Yeah. He actually threw it to his inside shoulder, but it's
easier on the quarterback. He's got more room to miss out to the outside if you do that. Yeah, you're right though. He lined up between the top of the numbers and the hash marks. Most of the time, your receivers are going to line up about the top of the numbers, but right there, taking it a little bit more inside allows Hicklin to have more space to miss outside. I mean, he's got about 10 yards right there to really miss to the right, a big area to throw it into. Yeah. But you're right, he took it inside either way. It didn't matter because Bailey had Substory beat, but he's going to Bailey as well because of a height advantage too. I mean, he's got a good height advantage on Substory. Substory's not very tall, he stands about 5'8". Bailey's probably about 6'1".
There's Wogan kicking off. That thing's going deep, about 7 yards deep in the end zone. Dwayne Mackey catches it, but that's going to be a touchback out to the 20 again. Yeah, because really a lot of times on those fade routes and fly routes, you beat the guy not so much vertically as you do horizontally. Right, you take a little bit tighter split, and as you come up the field, even if the corner is running with you stride for stride, you've got room to bring you horizontally to the outside, but that time they didn't actually need it because Bailey had just about a step and was able to catch the ball in the end zone without having to work to the outside.
Yeah, you're right. It was a good throw too, but I mean, hey, he just had Substory beat on that one. You're right. There was a lot of room to throw it outside. He just really didn't need to.
Here we go. So Dobbins in the backfield, nothing there with him. Trips Colin Augustine. Goes across, they fake it to him, and Dobbins keeps it himself up the middle, picks up about 2 before Avery Worsham there makes the tackle for Porter Ridge. But I don't know that right now the flow to the pursuit by the defense of Porter Ridge is so quick. It's going to be tough for Aaron to get a whole lot of up the middle like that.
Yeah, they're not running with it either. I mean, it's almost like Watauga thinks it's man coverage, but these guys are clearly not running with the backs across the field. But Dobbins running the ball is probably not the best move. Look at this, Porter Ridge switching it up to a cover 2 look.
Handoff there to Augustine, and nothing there at all. He's tackled by Worsham again and Bruce Randall. So nothing there at all. They kind of strip it, but the whistle was blown before the motion was stopped. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, and a nice play once again. You can see Porter Ridge is a pretty advanced defense. They've kind of rolled back into a cover 2 look late. They're trying to mix some things up. I mean, heck, they got a 14-0 lead right now. Might as well try and get some different looks heading into the second round of the playoffs if they're indeed going there. But Watauga's got to get something going on offense and try and keep this, drive alive, keep their chances in.
3rd down and 8, little play action, roll to his left by Dobbins, dumps the ball off to Nick Williams, a nice play, but great pursuit coming back up and stopping him a couple yards short of the 1st down. Chris Duffy, the main tackler there, but a nice little play action, roll to his left. We've seen that before, and Nick Williams makes the catch there. It would be a good first down kind of play, but a little bit short, came up short on that 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, I agree with you too. I thought that was a nice play, and they're sending out the punt unit right now. Watauga's, been backed up the last 2 times, gone 3 and out, and so they got to get something really kind of going on offense there.
Just a little over a yard, really short in the first down. Have to get to 30.
Yeah, you might see some kind of fake or something with it being such a short yardage. I wouldn't do it this far backed up though.
Oh, snap. Jimmy Accardi keeps it. He does fake it over the right side, but nothing there at all. As the pursuit, I think Porter Ridge was kind of looking for it too, and defending against it. A well-coached team there, Porter Ridge is, so they're not going to be fooled very often. And Jimmy's gets stopped for about a yard loss, so that's going to give the ball to Porter Ridge here on the 28-yard line of Watauga.
Yeah, I think if you're going to go for it, Terry, you just line up and try and run a play to get the yardage. I wouldn't necessarily fake a punt like that. But Porter Ridge comes in and makes a nice play on it right there. Good awareness by that that special teams unit.
So here we go. Twins to the right.
And they're going to bring the safety over and basically play man over top of that.
So they got tight end to the left. They got Wogan there set to the left. Twins over here, 2 backs in the backfield.
Watauga's really concerned with the run.
Handoff inside, and that's going to be Chris Duffy running the football, picking up about 3 before Colin Augustine, Will Critcher in there on the tackle, along with Dwayne Mackey. I tell you, Mackey's coming up and run forcing there. He's very aggressive on the run.
Yeah, he's a good corner, Terry. And remember, he took a pick back for a touchdown last week too. So he's very good against the pass as well. He's probably their best defender.
So here we go, Twins formation again. They look up.
Yeah,
they've got kind of one on receive. The corner here is left kind of on his own.
Yeah,
here,
remember last time they did this, they had an out and a speed
raised up there on the slant. You could just see that the slot receiver had an inside position there. The free safety, Dwayne Mackey, was up playing up really tight and kind of a little bit over toward the right side. It really left the safety who was on the slot, on the slot, all kind of on his own there, and there was an inside position. I think Porter Ridge coaches saw that and made the call there, complete to Tyler Harrell for 12 yards down to the 13. So we've got now we got to go back to that 2 tight end offense, but one with a slight flex here on this side.
Hickman's keeping it.
Here he goes, cuts it back up inside, and he's going to be finally brought down just inside about the 2-yard line. We got a whole host of tacklers there. Sub Sturry, Colin Augustine, Jimmy Accardi, TJ Poulos, a whole bunch of them in there on the tackle.
Yeah, and a nice job there by Porter Ridge's offense. Now we're getting close to the clock in here in the first quarter. We'll have to see if they indeed try and take it. Their coaches are looking at it, but this offense has been tough to stop. You're getting a call in.
Yeah, call in here. So it's going to be they spotted around the 2.5-yard line, so it's just a little bit short of the first down, but I think that's going to be it. I think that's going to be the end here of the first quarter, so we'll change ends with it being Porter Ridge down inside the 3-yard line. So the Sky Zone HD Game of the Week. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the Sky Zone HD Game of the Week. We're starting here the second quarter. It's going to be second down, about 1 yard to go for Porter Ridge as we change ends here. The referees are moving the football down the field. But if you look at the stats here for the first quarter, Watauga has 19 yards of total offense, 12 yards of penalties. Porter Ridge has 141 yards of offense and 14 points, so they're driving in, trying to threaten for their third score. So Watauga only with 19 yards so far, so it's been tough so far on.
Yeah, it has. That's the thing. Watauga's really struggled to move the football, and not only that, but they've struggled to stop Porter Ridge from moving the football. Porter Ridge can do it in so many different ways. Watauga's been pretty generic so well, but they have been fairly successful in just taking bump flats and short routes like that. But other than that, Porter Ridge pretty much stopped everything Watauga's thrown at.
So here we go. Ball on the right hash, wide split over here to the left side. The coach is looking over here to see what they're going to do. Second down and 1 from inside about the 3-yard line. Makes it, calls the cadence. pitches it outside, and he dives into the end zone. That's Jarek Robbins there picking up the touchdown run. Nice job here. Actually, good job defensively by responsibility there for Watauga, but just an excellent cut there by Robbins that made people miss.
Yeah, that was a great cut. I mean, that's really what sprung the touchdown. Easy juke right there. I mean, he makes it look easy. It's kind of a tougher juke than it looks like, but a nice play right there by Porter Ridge, running the triple option into the short side of the field, the boundary side, but I guess they just saw an advantage over there, took advantage of it, and look at that, man. They're rolling early. First play of the second quarter, nice touchdown.
Yeah, so 20-0. Logan then coming out here for the extra point attempt, his third already of the night.
It's a good kicker. He'll blast this thing through
There's the snap, and there's the kick, and it's up and through. You can see that each one goes higher than the upright, so he's got some height on that thing, which shows power. And so we got 11:53 to play, 21-0. A lot like golf. I mean, you play golf. You look at the great golfers, they hit the ball, even though, say, even with a long iron, they hit it, they have so much power, they hit it high. You know, so even though, and he's the same way. I mean, he just has so much power that the ball not only is going hard, but it's going high because he creates lift.
Yeah, he does. It's one of those things that it starts off low, but it slowly just kind of raises up, and that's when you know that it's got a lot of power. A lot of those kicks that will just kind of come off the foot and go almost straight up and just kind of hit a peak and come down, just kind of like a straight up and down. But these things slowly raise up, and that's when you know he's got a lot of strength in his leg.
Porter Ridge 21-0 lead here. As we mentioned there at the end of the first quarter, they had 171 yards of offense in the first quarter. So, not really very well coached, very calm team, aren't they? I mean, they just execute. They go back to the huddle. They don't showboat. They don't do anything.
They're not dirty at all either. I mean, they're just a real classy team. That's the thing that this coaching staff, honestly, you can tell they've installed that too. I mean, this is nothing late or anything. This is a real Class A team.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, nobody gets excited. They just score. They hand the ball to the official. It's old school, really. I mean, just as my dad used to say to me, you act like you've been there before, and that's the way they act.
Yeah, but and the offense has been really mixed up. You're talking about the efficiency of it. Of those yards, 70 of them through the air too. I mean, it's efficient offense.
There we go, long kick, and that's going to be out all the way through the end zone. So no chance there for Dwayne Mackey or Sub Sturry to make any return there at all. TJ Poulos has gone back to kind of chase it out of the back of the end zone, bring it back to the referee.
Yeah, I think he's tired of that. He's just going to let it go. Those things are getting blasted out of there. He's a real good kicker, and not only that, he can play a lot of different positions. I mean, we've seen him play some tight end too. He's a good athlete.
Yeah. It does take away what Watauga can do so well. And I tell you, TJ Poulos is such a great returner. I mean, Sub Sturry and Dwayne Mackey are both excellent too. But, against a team like this, the one thing you could get is out in the open field. TJ Poulos is so elusive that that would be the one thing that would probably give Porter Ridge a little bit of trouble.
Right, but no need to worry about it, though, with Wogan.
Yeah, so here we go. Take play action fake. Dobbins rolls to his right. Mackey's sitting down right there, and he was sitting there waiting to see if he could throw, and Dobbins just kept rolling. Finally hit him there to the right side, but only picked up about a yard and a half, 2 yards.
Yeah, so those routes are not going very far. They're almost just sitting at the line of scrimmage, and that's a tough one though. He's running out of the pocket like he's getting a lot of pressure. Wasn't too much pressure on him right there, but Porter Ridge is doing a real good job with numbers. They know they can man up on Watauga and not worry about somebody beating them on the onside and still keeping at least 6 in the box to stop the run.
So here we go. Handoff to Colin Augustine up the middle. A little bit more room for him there, but I tell you, once they hit him, they stood him up. The one thing Colin's always been so good at this year is he's always falling forward. He always just cuts that little bit to hit a guy just off center, so he's falling forward. And because he's tall, you fall forward and it's an extra 2-yard pickup. That time he picked up 3 yards on it. If he falls forward, he's got 5. But Porter Ridge hit him up in his chest and didn't let him fall forward. That's a big difference between gaining 3 and gaining 5.
Yeah, it's a very good defense. They're strong too. I mean, they're bulky.
Here he is, rolls to his left. Dobbins lays it up in the air, but it's going to be incomplete there, intended for Cameron Baker. Yeah. But nothing there. There was just really like 3 defenders around him.
Yeah, and he's gone to Baker twice now in this ball game. Baker's not got one yet. If Watauga's going to have any kind of a shot of maybe getting a big play, it's got to come from Baker. He's really their best threat on the outside as a receiver, and he's one that can honestly play at the next level for Watauga. But the thing is, they got to get it in his hands somehow on a screen or something. I haven't really seen him throw too many screens to Baker this year, maybe a few. They did hit one big screen to him last week against St. Stephen's. Maybe they should look to something like that because Porter Ridge is coming up and just playing on him.
Here's Alex Parsons back to punt, little low snap, but he gets it away a little bit off the side of his foot to the right, and it takes a bounce backwards, but Watauga's going to down it right there. That was Jake Pays downing it on about the Watauga's 46-yard line, so a 21-yard punt there by Alex, and Porter Ridge is going to start over with a good field position again.
Yeah, and it's already 21-0. They've been moving the ball very efficiently. Nothing stopped Porter Ridge yet. Every time they've had it, they've gone down and scored. Watauga's got to try and find something different to maybe stop this offense.
So here we go.
They bring as many people to the line as they can. They're even dropping their safeties down in tight now. You've seen Mackey dropping and Nick Williams dropping.
Oh, raises up, looking down the out route. I tell you, that was beautiful timing. You know, he threw that football before the receiver even turned his head.
Yeah, got out of his break. It was good. That was actually thrown on great time right there. That's how it should look. The receivers just got to be aware, you know, that ball's going to be coming out of Hicklin's hands. That was a great throw, really.
Yeah, actually, the receiver was a little bit slow on his turn there.
Yeah, he was. He was slow out of his break, and that's why it was incomplete.
2nd down and 10 here. Hicklin takes it, an option, pitches it to the right. Got a lot of room out there. Nice cut and a nice block out there by the receiver. That was Xavier York was making the block, but Jarrett Robbins picked up 16. Nick Williams there on the tackle.
Yeah, great job by Robbins. So you're getting to see a little bit of his speed now too. I mean, he's been the one that's not gotten out in the open field yet in this ball game, and when he does, he's very dangerous.
Isaiah Hicklin there at quarterback. 2 backs next to him in the shotgun. Option this way. Hicklin keeps it himself, cuts it back to the right side, and he does a great job getting down almost to the 10-yard line, about the 10.5 before he's finally brought down there. But he found a little bit of seam, cut it back up inside, and then cut back against the grain, and a little bit of over pursuit by Watauga. Fortunately, we were able to come up with the tackle there.
Yeah, he's a good athlete too. He's really young. I mean, he's only a sophomore. They moved him up, and he's made some great plays for this varsity team.
Here we go. Hicklin, a little play action fake, rolls to his right, bootleg pass, and he drills it. Goodness gracious. What a beautiful throw there. That's to Luke Bailey. I tell you, Bailey, I'm impressed with him. I think he's a major player.
Yeah, he is. He's a good player, and that was a great throw. His only place he could have completed was actually throw it behind, but Bailey, and that's an athletic move to try and catch that thing while you're running in one direction. You have to almost stop at full speed, turn around, grab it in the other direction, and then he gets into the end zone. I mean, he had great balance there. He's a good athlete.
Yeah, a little play action, and Hicklin rolled to his right there and then just drilled it there to Bailey, as you mentioned, to his back shoulder. Yeah. Because that was the defender actually had good coverage to the front shoulder.
Yeah, he did. And that was just, I mean, that's just a good throw.
Here we go. 27-0. 9:43 to play here in the second quarter, and Logan's up and good again. So that's going to be 28-0 lead here for Porter Ridge, and they're looking, offense is looking kind of unstoppable right now.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing. It's been just like clockwork. We've not seen Watauga stop Porter Ridge yet. Every time they've touched the ball, they've had 4 touches on offense. It's resulted in 4 touchdowns. That's the thing. And Watauga's really struggled to move the ball. We haven't seen too many first downs out of the Pioneers. I don't know.
We haven't seen
one, yeah.
We've been close a couple times. You know, we've been ended up being a yard short, I think, twice, and faked it one time on a punt, and we ended up that last time, I think, 3 yards short. But but I think, you know, some things, you know, Watauga's going to struggle here against this because Porter Ridge has got so much team speed on defense and offense. But on defense, they pursued the ball so well. So it's going to be tough to break any long time of plays. But I think you've mentioned a couple times here, you know, we've completed some passes, but we got to get a little bit farther down the field on the breaks, you know, because we're completed like that last one to Dwayne for about barely a yard and a half.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a lot of work to create, you know, and it was a good look, you know, Dobbins had to do a lot of work, the offensive line had to do a lot of work, Dwayne had to do a lot of work, and if you only pick up a yard and a half, 2 yards, you know, you really are, it hasn't really helped you on offense. So you've got to, if you can get that, make that a 4 or 5 yard gain, then suddenly, instead of finishing 4th and 1, 4th and 2, you're going to going to get some first downs.
Right, that's the thing, that these receivers got to run their routes a little bit deeper than they are right now. But either way, Porter Ridge is really doing a great job of rallying to these things too. I mean, they're dropping deep underneath with their linebackers, and Watauga's forced to complete shallow routes, and then Porter Ridge really just rallies out of there.
Seems like 10 yards out of the end zone.
That's almost on the track. That kid can really boot it.
It's amazing, you know, in all the years with coaching and stuff, you can play and you also, you see guys that, some guys can just kick a ball far, throw a ball far. It's all just a genetic way of power. It's power, you know, it's how can you explode those last few inches of whether it's your leg or your arm. And
it's that explosive power. I mean, you really see, if you want to talk about a weight room, how it translates, I mean, you could probably see that in a power clean. It's not necessarily just brute strength. That's an explosive move. And that's what, you know, you get your explosive actions from.
Here we have four-man line still there. Porter Ridge stayed in that same defense throughout the time here. Snap to Dobbins, looking option to the right. Keeps it himself, but Porter Ridge strung it out there and really just didn't give him any kind of a real read. He just kind of kept stringing him out, and finally then got him the tackle right at the line.
I don't really agree with that offensive play, trying to run a speed option with Aaron Dobbins against Porter Ridge's defense. It's just so fast. If you're going to attack this team on the run, you got to spread them out and you got to run it downhill, try and create as best of a numbers matchup as you can inside the box. The thing with that, Porter Ridge never allows you to do that. They're going to basically man up on the outside of play a cover 3 with a lone safety. Like this right now, they're completely man on the field, and they're bringing
pressure. The blitz. They got two linebackers coming from the same side, and and they threw it out there, and I think they're going to call a late rough in the passer. I think I'm not really sure it was late because he hit him just as he was. But I think what happens here is when you start to get a 28-0 ball game, the referees feel a little bit, you know, subconsciously they feel a little bit sad for the team that's losing, because he got hit just as he was really releasing the football.
And I don't really agree with too many roughing the passer penalties. I understand so many penalties now are meant to protect the quarterback, but what if he pump faked? You know, you don't know. If he'd have pump faked and you hit him, there's no penalty there. You don't know as a defender. And I play quarterback, and I'm taking him up for the defense right now. But yeah, you can tell when Porter Ridge went man right there, they were bringing pressure. They had a lot of people to the line of scrimmage. We've not seen them blitz too many times tonight, but they got a lot of speed. They got back there.
But Dobbins, I tell you what, he hung in there, and he knew he was going to get nailed because he could see that guy coming. Because he was facing that way, throwing the out to the left, and the linebacker was coming from the left, and he hung in there. I mean, that's for a freshman, that's amazing, and for any high school quarterback, it's amazing.
Watch these linebackers; they're so good.
Look at that, they dump it off there to Colin Augustine, and he's going to be brought down for a loss here.
He's fighting for it though.
He is. He's fighting. He's not giving up easy, but I was, you know, impressed there with Dobbins because he hung right in there. The guy was coming right in his face, and he threw it and got nailed. And so, you know, he didn't duck. He didn't try to avoid it, and that shows for the future, you know, that he's got the toughness to play that position.
Yeah, he can hang in there. I think he'll be good down the road. I think right now it's just tough. He's going to take his lumps. Obviously, early in his career, he is only a freshman, but I mean that's you're right. He did stand in there.
His formation, faking the blitz. Oh, handoff, Colin Augustine. This is what you're talking about, Drew. Just hitting them right at him, trying to spread them out. And your best shot is just to hit somewhere between those tackles.
Yeah, and it worked out late because those linebackers from Porter Ridge, it looked like they were in there for the run, and then the last second, right when the ball was snapped, they ran out to kind of cover maybe those possibly 3 receivers down here in the bottom, and that's when Watauga finally got a mismatch inside, where a 5-on-5 matchup, and they kind of took advantage of it there. That was probably the best play we've seen Watauga run all night long.
Pick up 13 there by Colin, gets it out to near the 45-yard line, so 2 first downs in a row, 1 by penalty. We got a movement there. That's going to be against Porter Ridge because I didn't see anybody move on Watauga. I think it's just a hard count there by Aaron Dobbins doing a good job. So, you know, Watauga offense here just looking that little bit sharper right now. Look like they're starting to get a feel for it a little bit.
Yeah, they are. They're looking a little bit better right now. And that's the thing. We have noticed that out of Watauga later on in games, they tend to play a little bit better. It's almost like it takes them 2 or 3 quarters to really understand what the defense is doing to them. And then once they find it out, they can kind of take advantage of it.
It was a 3rd down and 1, so that hard count jumped off sides, gave Watauga the first down. So now we've got a 1st and 10 situation. Hand off to Colin Augustine up the middle, and he fights forward, gets about 1, and he doesn't give up.
Oh, it's stripped. It's stripped right there. I don't think we've seen him fumble all season long, but you could see him come in and strive for that ball and pull it out.
I'll tell you what it was he fought so hard.
And they held him up.
They held him up, and he kind of spun off. And really, in all reality, his forward progress was stopped. I think they could have easily blown the whistle, but then Colin kind of spun off at one because he just refused to give up, and just like he did on that little screen over there to the left side just a minute ago. But he's you know, he was really that fumble was brought on by the effort that Colin was making, really.
Yeah, it was.
And here we go. Hicklin drops back, looks down the field, little stop route out here. Dropped it. That was incomplete. Xavier York, Isaiah Hicklin there looked it over, but really for him to still be open, that we're playing pretty soft out there because he came back. He looked to his right side first. Hicklin did, came back to his left, and if the stop route is still open at that late, then we're kind of being a little bit
too soft. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's the thing. Those quick hitches down here in the bottom are meant to be your first look. You're almost supposed to catch, raise, and throw it, and now see Watauga's switching it up.
Now Nick's walking up there in a 2-deep zone, little option. Good defensive call there. Nick McLean with a tremendous play. And Watauga switched out. They kind of rotated late, and Porter Ridge didn't know what they were going to do and rotated that cover 2. And you saw Nick walk up on the outside shoulder, jam the receiver, and when you're in cover 2, the corner's got pitch responsibility. So it really fooled the Porter Ridge coaches there because they called that play thinking I think they had a 3-deep zone out here, and Watauga rotated to it late.
Yeah, they did, and they did a good job there, really switching up. I think they switched it into a cover 2 look because of the last play. We just saw him, give up an easy hitch late. He came back to it real late. So Watauga thinks, well, hey, let's take away the flats by putting a cover 2 corner out there, and then it stops the option.
Yeah, so here we go. Raises up, looks down the field, little dig route inside there.
Yeah.
Intended there for...
he just threw it too early. That's all it was. It was an easy route right there. You had a flat coming out from your slot receiver and then a dig or a curl. You couldn't really tell what it was from the outside receiver. And Hicklin just threw it too early. He's got to be a little bit more patient in there, sit, wait for it to really develop because these corners aren't going to cover that. And that's just one he's got to sit in there and just wait a minute and then throw it.
That was York again. I tell you, I think that if that had been Bailey, I think he would have caught that football because it really just wasn't a very clear route the way the guy ran it. He didn't give Hicklin any real read on where to throw the football. Yeah,
Bailey's a little bit more experienced receiver out there.
Here's the snap. There's the punt. First time we've seen Porter Ridge punt, and they do everything well. They tries to go for the sideline here and kicks it down to about the 16. Oh no, he's walking back up. Referee walks back up, and it's going to be around the 22-yard line. So. Yep. So only a 29-yard punt there by Wogan, so not his best. His angle was a little bit too much there, and they spotted here on the 22.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to pin him, and then it just kind of came off his foot a little bit too far to the left. You could tell he was wanting to try and just pin it in the back left, underneath the 5-10-yard line, something like that. It just came off a little bit too far to the left. But still, I mean, this Porter Ridge team's been pretty much unstoppable. That's the first time we've seen him punt, like you said, the whole night, Terry, and it was a 3 and out.
So here we have 3 wide receivers. First time we've seen this set. No tight end, 2 backs in the backfield. Handoff inside. Nothing going there at all. Yeah. Colin Augustine, loss of about 2 back to the 20-yard line. So Watauga there struggling there on first down on this one.
Yeah, you're right. That was a nice job right there. Nick Widgeon right there, that defensive lineman, he's only a freshman. And he's one to watch out for. He really anchors that defensive line, big 66 down there. This defense is very impressive, though, because they're always keeping 6 in the box, no matter how much Watauga spreads them out.
Second down, 12. Dobbins drops back, looks over to his right, late, and that's picked off there. That's actually going to be Widgeon there. He takes it back 26 yards there for the touchdown, but Dobbins just raised up, and really he looked to his left a little bit first, came back to his right, and just as you and I were talking about earlier, you can't throw that thing late over to on a stop route.
Yeah, and maybe you can against some worse defenses, but that's a linebacker that picked that thing off, coming underneath that thing. You're right, you could see him break, and it almost was like Dobbins waited for him to fully turn around and look him in the eyes, and then he threw it. You can't do that. You got to get that thing out of your hand while he's breaking down, and that's a great play by a linebacker, though. In the high school level, it's pretty rare to see linebackers do that, to sink underneath hitches. That's a nice play.
Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful play. So 34-0, Porter Ridge there takes the lead. Logan comes out again for the extra point. It'll be his 5th attempt of the night. Been good on all his first 4. Probably coming hard from this side over here, Nick McLean, but ball's up and good. So 35 0, 5:50 to play here in the first half. So that really continued to escalate this situation here for Porter Ridge. Just completely dominant right now. But the impressive thing about it is they just do it in such a really class kind of way.
Yeah, they do. They just kind of go in and score and just leave after that. Nothing. You don't ever see them taunt or anything. Not even celebrate. They're here to do business. That's pretty much how they do it. Now, I like a team that at least when they score, the team kind of comes in there and pats them on the head and kind of has a little bit of a celebration. Porter Ridge almost doesn't even do that. They kind of just score and walk off the sideline. That's pretty much how simple it is for them. And this offense is just like a machine. It is tough to stop right now for Watauga. Hey, man, this is a team that could possibly go all the way. They've been talking about it here. Their only loss this season is to Weddington, and Weddington's a heck of a football team too, really. And they're not too far from here. They're probably about 15 minutes from here. So all these teams around this area, there's 3 teams in this conference that are really good, and Porter Ridge and Weddington are 2 of them. And so either one of those guys can go pretty far in the playoffs. Porter Ridge, though, has got a lot of team speed. The good thing about them is they're so young, and the more playing time they've gotten as the season's progressed, they've really just gotten better. So that's why they might have a shot of maybe taking it the whole way in the playoffs.
Yeah. I think the coaching staff for Porter Ridge done a tremendous job here. So
it's going to be fun, if Porter Ridge goes on to win this thing, looks like they are next week when they play AC Reynolds. If AC Reynolds gets through the first round, man, that's unreal. That's unreal. If they go on to play AC Reynolds, that's going to be a good one. We've seen AC Reynolds. They got a lot of size and speed as well. They got a good quarterback and running back. So it's going to be tough for Porter Ridge in that one just because of the size of AC Reynolds, and they do have good speed. Remember, their receivers were big. They had tall receivers. So but I think Porter Ridge is just a little bit more advanced on the defensive side of the ball. Those linebackers from Porter Ridge are outstanding. We just saw it on the last play.
Yeah, I have to give a favor to beat Porter Ridge too.
Yeah, they got a lot of speed too. They got so much speed from so many different people.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can never measure. Is team speed, player speed. There's no way to combat that. If you don't have it, you just can't do it. Handoff inside there, Colin Augustine, and he's going to pick up about 6 yards. Nick Widgeon there on the tackle. That Widgeon is kind of all over the place, isn't he?
Yeah, he can make a lot of plays out there for linebacker. And then they also, they got a lot of players, man, that can make stops. This defensive front is big. Widgeon's a real good linebacker. The secondary is fast, led by a lot of guys out there. Jarek Robbins, is their safety. They got good players.
Here with snap, play action, roll to his right, 2nd down and 4. Got a little bit of trouble.
Yeah,
he's just going to throw this thing away, but 2nd down and 4 situation. Good pickup on 1st down, 6 yards. Then tried to go with that little fake and play action, roll to his right, and really there wasn't anything from nobody open.
I think, Terry, if I'm not mistaken, I almost think that was set up to be a throwback screen as he rolls out to his right here back to Colin Augustine. But there's just so much pressure, he didn't have enough time to stop and set it up. I mean, that's tough. Because he really wasn't anything down here on the bottom from the throw it to him.
No, there wasn't anything. So we got a 3rd down and 4 situation.
Porter Ridge going to bring pressure. They're manning up.
Here they come. Linebacker came from the top side. Nice job. Nice getting it out. But I tell you what, it's still going to be short again, I think. The Substory picks up 2.
And he just got blasted, too. And there's no trash talk or anything. That was just a good hit.
Yeah.
I mean, man, and he rallied up to it. And, hey, I don't know. That's tough, though. You can tell when Porter Ridge likes to bring pressure because they just man you up, and here they come. You can tell.
They just come over, and you don't see much slapping hands or anything on the sideline. You just very calm. They just come over and, we did our job, and now it's the offense's turn.
It's almost boring for them right now to be up 35-0. They're putting a good little beating on Watauga right now.
7-man rush here, and ball gets off. Alex gets rid of it, and nice job kicking it to the left side with no return, but it'll be about be marked there. You see the referee, what they do is they go deeper than where they think it went out, and then they walk forward, and then the head referee behind the punter then lines it up to show the angle of the angle of the trajectory of the ball, and then they match up where that is, and that's why the referee does it that way. So
good way to do it.
27-yard punt for Alex, so he 53-yarder on his first one, and that one was 27. Option there to the left. Hickman pitches it outside, and a good job. Nick Williams comes up and finally rides him out of bounds. but that's Chris Duffy picking up about 8 yards.
Yeah, Duffy's the bigger back. I like seeing him out here on a pitch out and on an option pitch because he's really the downhill runner for Porter Ridge, but he has good speed. I mean, this is the guy that's going to be going and playing college football as a running back next season. So, I mean, he's a good player.
Yeah, so here we go. So it's going to be 2nd down and 2 on the Watauga 47-yard line.
Got a lot of room up top, Terry, but I don't think they're really looking to throw it at this point with this big of a lead. They can still move this ball on the ground.
Yeah, slant right would be open up top if they wanted it, but they don't really want it. Option to the right. Hickman keeps it himself, does a great job, cuts it back, and he's then brought down. Nick McLean grabs hold and trips him up there with it. So great job there by Nick, but Hicklin picks up 11 yards in the 1st down.
Yeah, he's pretty elusive player too. I mean, he gets out there and really Watauga had a pretty good job there of maybe stopping him, but Hicklin gives a little juke, cuts it upfield. It's a good gain. This is a good offense, and a lot of athletes, even when Watauga's there to make plays, they got to still stop them in one-on-one situations, and Porter Ridge is athletic.
Kind of some wide splits here by the receivers, setting up the slant route.
That's Bailey.
Yeah, both receivers lined up with wide splits, and so opening up that inside, little 3-step slant route, and that's Bailey again. And I tell you, he's a college football player.
Yeah, he is. We got to look and see if we can, see where he might go play at the next level too, because he's good. I mean, there's a reason he's already got some major catches in this ball game.
Here we have Twins set to the right. Yep. Bailey's in the slot up there on the top. We got one back and motion shifting back into the backfield. 2 backs there. Handoff inside. He's got lots of room, but he's finally then brought down on a tackle there by Dwayne Mackey. Saves a touchdown, but that was Jarek Robbins there.
Yeah, that's an easy read for your quarterback. It's basically you're going on the inside zone. You're reading the defensive end first, the widest guy on the defensive line of scrimmage. You read him. Now, if he crashes with the running back on the inside give, the quarterback, Hicklin, will keep it and continue to run a speed option to the right side. Now, if he stays home for Hicklin, he'll hand it off inside. He decides to hand it off inside right there, and big gain.
Here we go. Mountains motion this time. The handoff inside to Duffy, and he's close to the touchdown. It's going to be very close, but I think they're going to spot it on about the half-a-yard line there. So pick up a 5. Taylor Shuford, Will Critcher, the main tacklers there.
Yeah, there's a cut right there. You can see these guys are big grown men. These guys got tattoos, Terry. These are big dudes down there.
Yeah, good weight training program there for Porter Ridge. So single back set. Motion across here, handoff there inside again to Duffy. He goes in for the touchdown very easily. It's 1 yard.
Yeah, easy touchdown inside handoff. Duffy's the big power back. You can take a look at him right there. He looks like a good athlete. He's already made some big plays. They got a lot of kids, man, that can run on this team.
Yeah. But you look at that, in all reality, there's a difference. We know it. There's a difference, and we've said it. We've hinted toward it all season long, but there's a difference between high school teams that come out and they get excited about playing football in preseason, and then work hard through the football season. The difference between that and the teams that go out there and work at it 12 months of the year. And Porter Ridge is a team that works at it. They got a great weight program. You can tell, great plyometric program. And you come out here, and then what happens then is physically and athletically, you just dominate. And there's nothing Watauga really can do about it, because no matter how hard they play, and how much effort the players are all making great effort. They're all playing hard for Watauga, but it's just they in reality haven't worked as hard in the off season and throughout the 12-month period to be as Porter Ridge has worked. And so you just can't make up for that suddenly by making a lot of effort on Friday night. You can't make up for that. Now you can get away with it playing in this local area and really playing in Watauga's conference, which there's several weak teams there in the Watauga conference, so you can get away with being kind of a part-time.
But when you get down to Charlotte and stuff like this down here, there's too many. Yeah, these kids work, and this is a football program, Terry, that over the last 3-4 years has only lost 3-4 ball games. I mean, this is a good program all around. And you're right, the best time we've ever seen Watauga as a team was when the the era of Brightenstein, really. And,
Yeah.
and you think about Brightenstein, he worked. That team worked. And they were in the weight room. They had size. They were strong. They were fast. And that's the best Watauga team we've seen up here in a long time.
And there's a big high kick. I tell you, just launched that one. And it's going to go gonna land about 6 yards deep in the end zone. But it was very high on that one.
He can do it in a majority of ways. He can get it out of the back of the end zone. He can kick it high. He's a good kicker.
Yeah. But it's almost like the difference between being a part-time team and being a full-time professional, full-time team. And that really is, when you compare it, you see a lot of high school programs that are really part-time. In all reality, football season is no different than baseball season or basketball season or it's just, okay, now it's time to play football. And, but if you're going to be great, you got to work at it all year round, and you got to, and it's the will to win throughout the offseason that really is what makes you a great player and a great team. Hand off to Augustine. Nice run there by Colin. He fights forward and does a great job. Picks up about 8 yards out to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, Terry. You talk about this all season long thing. I've always kind of been mixed. I don't know how I would like a player to do it, because I did it a little bit differently in high school. I know a lot of kids, say, hey, play all the sports, try and get as active as you can and be a good athlete and help out your other programs if you're a good athlete. But there's also a thing about concentrating on one, such as a football or a basketball, and you can pretty much allow all your efforts go into one. That's how I did it. I only played football in high school. I didn't play basketball or anything else. But, maybe there is something to it as far as getting out there and playing, other sports.
Hand off to Colin Augustine, drives forward, picks the first down. I actually think you should play other sports. I played 4 in high school and 3 in college, and and I've always, when I was coaching at Avery, all my guys played all the different sports, but they still kept working out throughout. And there's a difference. And what happens is, if you get into basketball season and you think, I don't want to mess up my shot, and so I don't want to lift, and so I'm just going to focus on basketball. Well, that's nice. But the reality is if you work hard and you lift weights, it doesn't really hurt you that much during basketball season. Now, you might not want to lift, the afternoon before a big game, but you can find other times during the week to lift and make yourself, because there's a little try to screen.
Oh, that's
intercepted. That's Widgeon there again, I think. Nick Widgeon.
Man.
He's making interceptions all over the place.
That was a heck of a play, too, to fly up and get the thing. I think he pulled that one off the turf. They set up another screen down here at the bottom to call on Augustine, kind of a throwback, tailback screen. And, man, that was just a great job of Porter Ridge to rally, because they really sunk on defense. And then as soon as Widgeon saw it, he just took a step up and flew to the football and got it.
Yeah.
That's how good this defense is, how fast they are. That's great.
But I think that, I remember when I was coaching and I'd talk to these guys who were basketball players, and I'd say, if you could spend, the next 2 weeks solid working, doing any type of thing you wanted to do to make yourself a better basketball player. And here after this option here, Hickman pitches it outside.
Watch the speed
Robbins,
of this guy.
look at this, down the right side, and he's, man.
Wow, look at that. Look at this.
That's
a running back right there.
Anthony White just held on there. Oh, he got a late hit there. Nick Williams. He could have personal foul or something happened.
Nick coming late. It's a nice run right there. And see, that's the speed right there. They got a lot of backs that can make plays. His helmet's off right there.
It could be that's where the personal foul.
Yeah, we'll have to see. You can see Porter Ridge is upset, but
very calm though, even though they're not reacting at all.
Yeah, no fight or anything. They're just taking it, I guess.
Yes, that's going to be a personal foul on the defense there, so they're going to put it half the distance to the goal there. But so we'll talk a little bit more about that whenever we get down here. This looks like Porter Ridge driving here again, 5:12 to play. 50 seconds to play here in the
second quarter here.
Second quarter.
Almost halftime. Porter Ridge trying to put one more in before the half.
Here's handoff over the right side, but Luke Watson. Oh, and we got another penalty inside there.
Yeah, maybe a face mask. You see him held him up. I couldn't really tell what that was about, but he threw it right at the pile where the tackle was taking place. That's the strange part.
You've got to think that's a face mask. And every time that happens, too, it stops the clock, which makes it easier for Porter Ridge to get ready for the next play. Personal foul, face mask. Yeah, it's going to be another half the distance to the goal, so that's going to put it down on about the 1 yard line here.
Yeah.
And so it's just under Not much time left here. Porter Ridge is trying to get another touchdown here before the half.
Yeah, Watauga's manning up and trying to cover every gap that they can as far as a defensive front. Watch her. Oh, yep, there's a false start right there from the right guard. But the last time Porter Ridge came out in that formation where they actually brought the slot back behind Hickman, they ran the option into the boundary side, and it was that triple option, speed option thing. So look for that again. I don't know if they'll go and run the same play again, but the last time they did it, that's what they ran.
It's 1st and goal from the 1. Now it's going to be 1st and goal from just outside the 5.
Yep.
So Hickman looks over to the sideline.
And now watch Hickman down here in the slot. If he drops back into the backfield again, they're going to try and run the triple option down here to the boundary. It's if he gets set. If he doesn't get set, you get set. Now they'll run it down here in the bottom.
Shifts down.
Yep.
And here comes your right option to the left side, and he fights and gets into the end zone. There, ball came loose a little bit. Nick McClain grabbed it, but he was already across the goal line, and Hickman gets the touchdown from 6 yards out with 17 seconds on the clock.
Easy play, and I'm already getting a sense of Porter Ridge's offense. When he gets set, they run it down here in the boundary. When he doesn't get set and he stays in motion, they run it to the field. They run the same play just to the opposite side where they have the 2 receivers. And we've seen them do it, I don't know, 2 or 3 times the whole night. But that's something where, if I'm watching film on Porter Ridge, I've already got that play scouted, so I know it's coming. But still a nice play, good execution by Porter Ridge. Still executed it just perfectly fine and got a good score.
Yeah. So here's Matt Wogan coming out again, going for his 7th extra point here in the first half.
Yep, getting set. He's a good kicker, man.
Yeah, nice kick, and it's up, and it is good. So that's going to make it score 49-0 here with 17 and a half seconds left here in the first half. But as I was talking about, I asked these guys when I'd coach guys, I'd also in charge of all the weight training programs and health programs there at the high school. And I'd ask, the basketball players, if you could spend the next 2 or 3 weeks working on anything in your game and concentrate on anything you would do, would you rather work on it on your jump shot, or would you rather work on it and make yourself your vertical jump 2 inches higher? And the guys who didn't have the understanding about how important weight work was and plyometric work was would say they'd work on the shot. I say no, because if you work on your jump shot, there's only so good you can get. I don't care if you're Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. There's only a certain percentage of how good you can get on that. So you're diminishing returns as you keep working on it. But if you increase your vertical jump by 2 inches, everything you do on the basketball court is better. Your rebounding's better, your running's better, your fast breaks are better, your quickness is better. Everything you do. And so really, as you work on your overall athletic ability throughout the whole, through all the seasons of football, through all the seasons of sports throughout high school, I think it's good to play those sports, but you've got to keep working on your athletic ability all the time. Right. And there's a deep kick again. Not allow yourself to just focus on, I want to play good in basketball, I want to play good in baseball.
But wouldn't that almost be a reason to maybe just concentrate on one sport?
No, I think it's good to play the sports because it actually builds your competitive nature, and every sport actually develops different abilities. Because and you're actually working hard on every sport. I know Josh Johnson, who I coached, and then he went on to be a great receiver. Then went to Appalachia, started there for 3 years, and then my senior year actually went to Mars Hill and started there because he just did it by choice. But he won a couple of national championships there. Here we go with Watauga's getting the ball here. 17 seconds left. 1st and 10 on their own 20. Hand off inside. Colin Augustine bounces out to the outside. He gets about 10 yards, but what happened was, I said he was always a great basketball player, and I talked him into coming out for football, and then eventually football became his #1 love and his #1 sport. And then his senior year, he said, well, should he play basketball? And I said, yeah, play basketball, but keep lifting weights all the time in basketball. Don't let treat football as your #1 thing. And he did that. He ended up going on and being the player of the year in basketball, and then being the athlete of the year and going on with tremendous football. So lifting didn't hurt him in the basketball court, and he was able to keep developing. Right. Well, anyway, tonight's game is brought to you by High Country Insurance Services, located on the Highway 105 extension in Carrier Square in Boone. They offer the right coverage, the best rates for home, auto, life, and commercial insurance. This is the Sky Zone HD Game of the Week. Porter Ridge leading 49-0 here at halftime, and we'll be back right after these messages. Let's take a look at third quarter action, see if Watauga can come back and put some points here on the board.